We say to girls,
What is your podcast?
you can have ambition, but not too much.
Gonna be yapping and cackling away?
Naturally.
If I looked feminine, I would not be taken seriously.
I'm just a girl.
It's amazing how much you can get if you quietly, clearly, and authoritatively demand it.
Are you a big gifter? I'm not really a big gifter,
I
but
am, actually. Yeah, it's not like gifts are the most important thing, but I do like giving gifts. I like celebrating people. So whether that's it's more about the celebrating of the person, whether it's a gesture or a physical gift. I do like to gift.
I feel like I get really good ideas, but my follow through is off.
Yeah.
Off.
Yeah, so many great ideas, and then the follow through is
Everybody, welcome to Two Girls in the Market. I'm Amber Haley, the Big Island of Hawaii.
And I'm Rebekah Daniels in the Seattle, Tacoma, Washington area.
And we're just, full of holiday spirit over here. And
And my black and your brown. We should have worn holiday colors.
we should have. Well,
We're in the holiday spirits in our hearts.
when people are listening to it, it could be any time of year.
That's
so
true.
I guess whatever. This
It's-
is season neutral.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Oh, I like that. What's that from?
That's from Seinfeld.
Of course.
It's
Of
from
course.
it's from me, Amber. I totally just made this up, obviously.
So did you ever make a wish list when you were a kid for, I don't know if you guys did Santa or just family gift exchanges or
still do
anything like
that.
that?
My family, we use Google Docs, and so everybody
Oh.
puts in what they're wanting for Christmas, and then that person leaves the document, and then the rest of the family is part of the doc, and so we can all mark off what we're getting that person so that we don't double gift.
Oh, so smart.
Maybe it takes away some of the spontaneity of it, or I don't know. Some people are like, I want to be able to just give you something from my heart, and that is still an option. But I feel like it makes it a lot easier when you're not sure what does this person want, what do they need, and then there you go. You have it right there, and then with the rest of the family being in the list, we don't accidentally get two belts for somebody who only needed one.
Yeah, it is a balance, right? It's so nice, the idea of being surprised by something, but let's be honest, you're probably going to need to get a gift receipt with that if you do that.
It's true. Some people are just not good gifters.
I will never forget, and I don't want to rag on my mom because she does listen and she's such an amazing woman, but
We love our moms.
yes, I will never forget this one Christmas where I really thought I was getting an American Girl doll because the box, do you remember those?
Yeah, they were pretty big boxes, right?
They were big, and I was like, this is the size of an American Girl doll. And I just thought I knew this. And then it was a suitcase, which I'd be stoked about now, but it was a suitcase. And I was, and not only that, it was a brown one, which I love brown now. As you can see, I was like, I got a brown suitcase.
Worst gift ever.
And I've never forgotten it.
I wanted a car. I think I was a teen when this happened. I really wanted a car, and my dad was teasing me about it. And he really boosted it. We have this tradition of you put the really special, more expensive gifts in the tree because it's usually something small like jewelry. And so it was my last gift, and my dad was like, ooh, this is a big one. I had been saving it to the side as the most special gift to open last.
Yeah.
And dad's like, yeah, that's a good one. Oh, just better wait on that one. And I finally opened it, and it was a little toy car. And I was like, does this mean? And he's like, nope, that's it. I was like, are you kidding me?
It was the toy. It was just the toy
it was
car.
just a
to
toy
be
car.
clear.
Yeah.
No car.
Yeah. It was a little keychain sized toy car. I was so upset.
Oh,
Dad
it's
knows not to
heartbreaking.
make those jokes on me anymore.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. I wanted a car.
So
How
funny.
dare you?
Wish list in quite a while, but since we're both in real estate and we both work with buyers a lot, do you know a lot of home wish lists that are pretty funny? And they do remind me of my sometimes unrealistic Christmas gift wish lists as a kid during the holidays. I don't know if you've had any of those buyers lately where they're like, I want it all and I want it for way less money than that would ever cost.
Yeah. Yeah, I want a 3-bedroom with 2 full bathrooms under 300,000 in the Tacoma area. And I'm like, and I want land to go with it.
In land and privacy.
And I don't want it to
but
be a manufactured home. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I want all those things for you too. However, it doesn't exist
Yeah, you can't get
here.
it all. Exactly.
No.
Yeah, just like with buying a home, you decide what your wants are, what your needs are first, and then what your wants are.
Mm.
And then you got to be a little bit open-minded, right?
Yeah.
That's what I tell my clients.
There's the dream, and then there's reality. And sometimes they're really far apart, unfortunately. That's why we talk about having a starter home. The very first house that you buy, it may not be your dream home, but if it fits what you need, or if it's 70, 80% of what you need, that's a good place to start. And then you'll have more buying power. You'll have more purchasing ability in the future when you're ready. And that will put you one step closer to buying that house that really does fit all the wants and maybe has more of those things on your wish list.
Wait, Becca, I'm sorry. This sounds familiar. Are we talking about the real estate market still or the dating market?
Sometimes you gotta date trash men and then you will upgrade later on when you learn the errors of your ways. Yeah, I've definitely been there.
She said it, not me, everybody. That was Rebekah Daniels from Washington State there. But no, you're right. And it is funny because I would say at some of like my more discouraging times with dating, for example, I've had some of my good friends suggest to me, like, do you have a list of what you're looking for? And when you go through maybe like periods of a lot of heartbreak or frustration, I think that is like a good time to reevaluate. Just like if you're a home buyer, potentially, and you just aren't finding what you're looking for. Okay, maybe let's take a break. Let's reevaluate. What are we actually looking for before we like buy a place? What do we really need? What do we want? What's a deal breaker? And be really intentional about it. So I actually did that fairly recently. I started it. It's, an ongoing process, right? Making I don't know if we want to call it a wish list, but since it's the holidays, like I guess
it's the list that you're going to write to Santa. There's a whole song about this, Santa Baby. Maybe it's not. I think in Santa Baby, she wants Santa. But
in Santa Baby, she wants a lot of things.
She wants a lot of things, yeah.
The song didn't age very well because we are strong, independent women who can buy our own stuff, but it is a cute song.
True. But if you were going to write a list for Santa, for your dream guy, what would be on this list?
So I realized that after every catastrophe, I can evaluate, what did I like? Oh, maybe I should rewind.
No,
catastrophe
is correct.
After every life lesson. That's a nice way to rebrand
the
trash. I'm just kidding.
She said it, not me this time. That was Amber Haley from the Big Island of Hawaii.
That's right. Dear Santa Baby, what is I looking for? What am I looking for?
What is I looking for?
What is I looking for? Okay, so I did start making this list. And I got this advice, I think, from a podcast. It was like really good advice. Part of the way to learn from these life lessons of if you are dating someone and it doesn't work out and you realize they are not compatible with you, take the emotion out of it and make lists and be like, okay, this is something that I want in a future partner and this is something that I don't. Weigh out the pros and cons a little bit and be a little tactical about it.
Yeah, I think every dating experience or life experience can be a learning opportunity. And there's good and there's bad things that we learn from that. But choosing to be tactical with it, do a pro and con list and be like, all right, I appreciated this about this person. And that is a quality or trait that I would want in the next person. And these are things that I really don't vibe with. I think it can be healing and make it not so much of a loss.
Yeah. So what do you think? Should we expose to the world like what's on our wish list?
Yes, I'm always all about exposing you, Amber, to the world.
Just me. You got to share it too.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's continue exposing ourselves. Let's do it.
Okay. Dear Santa, we're making a list and we're going to check it twice. And we're going to do it for everybody so that they know, okay, I'm going to try and start with the things that I think are probably like more deal breakers. Because
okay,
obviously that's probably
so
like the most
must-haves.
important. So if I was like a home buyer, like I absolutely need to be within like this budget because that's all you're working with.
Yeah.
That's a deal breaker, something that's over budget. So I guess I'm looking at this list and I actually have a physical list in my one of my dear diaries.
Oh, what a precious notebook.
Yeah, I'm trying to, it's like falling apart. I'm trying to like journal and write things on paper.
Good.
Pen and ink things a little more.
Good for your brain.
I'm trying to think like how detailed we want to get here.
Super detailed.
Like how controversial are we on this podcast?
Oh, we are never controversial. We are always extremely PC. We definitely don't call people trash or anything else like that. So I think we just stay within our brand.
Okay. Some things that I'm like definitely am looking for on my
I'm
list.
looking for
And
a
then you
guy
can
in
help me.
finance. 6'4", blue eyes.
Blue eyes. Trust fund.
Trust fund. I'm like, what? I don't remember the rest of it.
I'm not against the guy with the trust fund, but I know it's definitely not on my list. Like, it's almost like
Honestly,
on my deal breaker list.
I
almost.
dated a guy with a trust fund, and they're exhausting.
I'm not going to rule you out because of your privilege, but like,
But have more substance
leave it.
to you, not just your privilege. You need to have something else going for you.
I think my number one thing on my list right now, like number one word, kind.
Ooh,
Mhm.
yes.
I want somebody who is kind. Like that I know that sounds so basic, but to me that's like everything. Like it's
Yeah.
everything.
I
That's
think,
like my biggest deal breaker.
and I think kindness goes beyond just being nice. Kindness to
it's
me,
different.
it means there's a care, there's a consideration for others. That's beyond just, oh, you just opened up a door for a person because it's the nice thing to do, but your heart wasn't necessarily in it. Like you truly care and think about that other person before yourself. To me, that is what a kind person does.
Do you have a number one thing?
My number one, and it's like this all encompassing one, is somebody who shares my faith. And that's because that in and of itself says so many things about morals and values and shared principles. And there's some extra things that go along with that are really important to me as far as
Yeah.
like my values go. So that would be my biggest number one thing.
My others are, I have like quite a long list and I don't want to be judged
How about
because
just your top 5 important ones?
I wonder if I'm alone in this, but sometimes I'm a little afraid if my wish list is drawing me to the wrong people over and over again, which is why I realize I need to like constantly update it and reevaluate. I really want somebody who is emotionally intelligent, has a really high EQ, because I think I have that. And I think it's probably the highest form of intelligence you can have. Like, I definitely want somebody who is intellectual and smart, but if they are that but don't have a high emotional intelligence, I know that's going to be really challenging for me.
Yeah, I think that is something that's pretty important for you. I mean, for a lot of people, not just you, but considering the types of conversations that you like to have and how you like to connect with somebody, that makes sense to me. That would be top on your list. And I think that's a good must-have. I don't think that's a bonus item. I think a lot of people get caught up on, oh, I don't know if it's okay for me to have this type of wish list or these types of boundaries, because some people see it as if you don't like everybody, it's because you don't think they're good enough for you, or like that this diminishes this other person in some way. And that's actually not the case. It's just, it's preferences. We are all different people. We all have different preferences and we have different needs. And there's different ways that we're able to show up for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
How you are actually able to show up and be a partner to somebody else, and recognizing the kind of person that you need to show up and be a partner to you. These are good things. This is wise. Instead of trying to be all things to all people, because that's impossible.
Absolutely. And speaking of like, dating somebody with kids, neither of us have kids. I don't know if you've ever been at a point in your life where you didn't want kids. I think from most of the stuff you've shared, you've always been somebody who'd want kids. Have you dated anybody with kids?
I have, yeah. I have dated people
Oh.
with. It was something that, I dated a guy with kids, and then when we broke up, it hurt really bad to not just lose that person. And it was good that we broke up. Like, we weren't a good fit. But it wasn't like I was just losing him. I was also losing the kids that I had bonded with. And I was like, oh, that hurts. And so it put me off dating somebody with kids for a while. And then as I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, maybe it depends on the situation. So it wasn't a deal breaker for me, but it was something that came with extra layers, extra question marks of like, it has to be the right situation for me.
Yeah.
It's not all out no, but it does have to be the right situation. Another one for me is I want somebody who's adventurous.
That's on mine too.
Yeah. So it's like I know
Yeah.
that that's my lifestyle. I like to travel. I like to explore new things, new places, and go out and go whitewater rafting and go rock climbing and do these different kind of thrill-seeking things. I'm not going to jump out of an airplane, but I like to do adventurous things. And somebody who would rather stay at home all the time, and they're like super into video games, and
That's what I was just picturing in my head. I was like, that's not the guy for
that's
either
not
of
the
us.
guy for me. And I know that there are lots of couples that they love to game together, and I'm like, that's awesome. You guys do that.
Or they like to do separate things, and one goes adventures and one stays home.
Right. So like that would be one of those things of, is it important to you that you have all the same hobbies? Or are you okay with a mix and match? For me, I want a mix and match. I want us to have some shared hobbies, but I also don't need to do all the same hobbies as you. I like to play D&D, but I don't expect, like, if my guy,
learned what this is. Does everybody know?
okay,
I like who knows what I'm like, do not disturb on my phone. Absolutely, I love that game.
I love D&D. Yes,
D&D.
No, Dungeons and Dragons. I've talked about this before, so I like to play Dungeons and Dragons.
I haven't talked about this on the podcast though.
I thought so.
Okay,
Maybe it
just
got
funny.
cut. Who knows? I like to play Dungeons and Dragons. It's not for everyone. I get that.
So on your wish list, do you want somebody who D&Ds? Or does that D&D?
I see that
or
as
does
like a
it matter?
bonus. That's a bonus item. Of like, hey, if you want to play, that's awesome. If you enjoy it, that's awesome, but you don't have to. But I do need somebody that plays games.
Oh, if they don't like games, they're off that's a need. That's a need, not a want.
That's a need because we are a big game family.
Ooh.
And I need you to be able to be part of. Maybe it's not a need. It's more of a want.
What if
But
they
it's like
will
very
do
strong
it?
want.
What if they will do it
Okay.
and they won't complain, but they don't like it and they wouldn't do
That's
it if
okay.
you didn't make it? That's okay?
Yeah.
Like a good
Yeah,
compromise?
I can compromise with that. But
Okay.
within that, you need to be a good loser.
Oh. Are you a good loser, Becca?
I am. I am a good
Okay.
loser, but I rarely lose, so we don't have to worry about that too often. But that's the thing is I'm going to trash talk you. While we are competing, I will be trash talking you, and I need you to be able to roll with that. And a lot of guys have a hard time with that because there's this pride element. So for me, you cannot be too prideful. That's a deal breaker for me, is that you need to be able to laugh at yourself. You need to be able to not win everything. You need to be able to like not be the best in every single scenario and be able to like have this give and take and fun competitiveness without it becoming a point of tension.
One of my really big wish list items, it's on my absolute need list, is, so Santa, if you're listening, is somebody who can get along with my family. And it doesn't mean they have to be like necessarily the super closest or be obsessed with everything about them. But if you can't get along with my family, and life is so short and so precious, and my family is something I feel like I've lost a lot of time with, and I'm never willing to do that again. Nobody who puts any kind of rift between me and my family. You have to be very comfortable with them and spending time with them. And it doesn't mean it has to look a certain way, but it has to be loving and respectful.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I'm super close with my family, and that is a must, is that you're able to get along with my family. I would love my family to also get along with my in-laws, but I also know that's very rare for everybody to get along with their family. So I would love to be able to get along with my person's family, and for my family to get along with their family. But depending on their relationship with them, that may not be realistic. So as long as they at least get along with my family.
Yeah.
But I would have a hard time dating somebody who they are really close with their family, but their family doesn't like me, or I don't like their
Oh,
family.
yeah.
That-
That will cause problems.
Yeah.
It's not going on the wish list. We definitely want somebody, ideally, I think, who is close with their family. Although for me, obviously, that's not a deal breaker because not all families are healthy, loving environments. But it's a nice bonus if it works on all ends and
Yeah.
everybody loves each other.
Bonus item.
It could go on the wish list for
It's
sure.
on the wish list. See, there's tiers. There's tiers of the wish list. I would love to have a guy with green eyes, because then we'd have green eye babies. And green eyes truly are the superior eye color.
Did you know I have green eyes? They're they
I
kind of change, so they're like a hazily sometimes, but I do. They are the most rare, I think.
I need to look more deeply into your eyes. I can't see your eyes right now. The pixelation.
Yes.
You would think I would have it like one of these conferences, just gazing into your eyes.
Okay, so I'm going to get into some of my like sillier ones because I want to hear yours. I really, or maybe some of my more controversial ones too. I really like people who are funny. So if you make me laugh, like that's definitely on my wish list. Like I love somebody
Yes.
who's funny, and I love somebody who is confident.
Mm-hmm. I have that on mine as well. I wrote it down. I said, I want somebody who makes me laugh, but more importantly, someone who thinks I'm funny, because I'm hilarious. And if you don't get that, man, you are missing out.
Mm-hmm. And I want somebody who's like curious about me too. And I know that sounds weird, but I have found like a lot of men I've dated don't think to ask the things that my female friends will ask sometimes. And I really notice when men do, when they have like genuine curiosity about getting to know you and the things that interest you, especially when it goes beyond just like how you can make their life better. You know,
Yeah.
They really want to know like about you and like, what excites you, like you alone as an individual, because I feel like I am that way toward other people. Like I'm very curious about them. And so that would be something I would love to have reciprocated, you know?
Yeah.
Like a curiosity. I also really want somebody who likes to cuddle.
Yes. I did not realize how much I needed that in a relationship until I was with somebody who loved to cuddle me back. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have been desperate for this. I'd always dated all these guys who were not super big on cuddling. And I was just like, I'm trying to be attached to you, man. I just don't want to be touched right now.
Yeah.
And
no,
then
I don't.
I was with somebody who was also like, I would love to cuddle. And I'm like, this is amazing. And it like just fills my heart up so much. And I feel like it puts me at peace.
I need somebody also that's like a heavy sleeper.
Oh.
Because like I need to be able to like climb all over you and cuddle you at night and stuff. I know that sounds silly, but it's on my it's like high on my wish list.
Okay.
It's important.
You just I feel like you're looking for a jungle gym.
Kind of, yeah.
A plushy jungle gym.
Yeah. Not to be like a cliche man on Hinge, but my love language is physical touch. Like I'll say that.
I
by the way.
mean, women in men's fields.
Here are two things on my wish list that I felt like I could not put on there until recently. I think it was a little bit like this need to be a modern woman and politically correct and like independent and be able to take care of myself. But two things I realized that I really want at this point in my life, also keep in mind, if I was like 22 years old still, some of this wouldn't be exactly the same because I was in a different phase of life then. But at this point, I need somebody who's like very like financially sound, financially successful, and makes money completely like independent of me and has their own thing going on. If I was 22 and I was dating somebody close to my age, like I don't think a lot of 22-year-olds are like that yet because you're still
Right.
building that part of your life. But I'm older now and I'm not looking to date somebody who's 22. So that is something that I need. And also a lot of that is because even though I don't consider like your bank account or your wealth like an indicator of your value in this world or the most important thing of value at all, just because like I'm tired. I don't want to have to like financially support men for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that's not just like a woman to man thing. I think that's anybody who's getting into a relationship. I think the other person should be able to independently support themselves,
Yes.
especially in our 30s. So again, like if you're 22 years old, you guys just graduated from college, you're probably in the same stage of life. So neither of you are really financially independent and
Likely,
established
yeah.
in your careers, and that's your choice at that time. But for where we are, yeah, I want you to have a job that you're established in, and I want you to be making good financial choices before we get linked together. That's one of the things on my list as well, is I want somebody who's financially secure and wise with their finances. I
Yeah.
want you to have a steady job. I want to know that you are going to be able to support a household. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop working, but I want to know that you are able to do that and not relying on me.
Yeah. That's like important to me. So I want somebody who is well off financially, even compared to me, have more money than me. Because why not?
Why not?
I'm always going to work hard and make more money. But that's like something that I felt like I was wrong to put on my wish list. And I'm realizing it's not. That's just like at this point what I feel it's compatible with. And then the other thing that I realized about myself probably in the last like couple years that I really want is somebody who is able to take charge of situations and make decisions, because sometimes I get exhausted in my own analysis paralysis. So I really just am very attracted to somebody who can be alpha and take charge, and I just take their hand and they have a plan and they can
They're a leader.
just yeah, I do, and I have an inner conflict about that because a lot of my thinking sometimes tells me, oh, that's like saying that you're subservient to somebody, and I will never be subservient to anybody in that way. But I am just like really, it is something that like meshes really well with me because I am a take charge person in a lot of areas of my life, and I do want to be on an equal playing field with my partner. But as far as like personality traits, I feel like with where I'm at in life, I would rather,
I would
because
look at,
just relaxes my brain.
yeah. Instead of looking at it as like alpha and beta or like being subservient, it's look at the executive board of any company. You have a CEO, the chief executive officer, and you have a COO, the chief operating officer. They're working in partnership together. And obviously, you have other people too. And so that's the way that I see it, is I'm looking for a partner. And there is going to come a point in different decision making that we have to do where I'm like, I want you to take the mental load and I want you to make the decision. I have veto power, but ultimately I want you to be able to take charge of this situation and not rely on me to make all of the decisions.
Yeah.
I do want to have feedback. I want to have input on these things and I want to have veto power. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't always want to have to make every single decision about every single thing. And having somebody that I can share that mental load with is very much a must have.
Yeah, and I think it's almost not because I actually want someone to make all my decisions and plans for me. I think it's almost just because I know I do so much of that naturally anyway, that finding somebody who does that too will just even it out a little bit more.
It's
And
sharing.
that makes me feel really cared for. That's why I like it. I just want to sometimes have somebody who can take charge of that too.
Yeah. I want to be the passenger princess of my life.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I am not ashamed about that at all.
Here's like probably the biggest thing on my wish list. It's like kind of two things. I really want somebody who prioritizes me and also somebody who like still actually have conversations with me, which maybe you can relate to as a fellow yapper.
What? You and somebody who has conversations with you? Wow, Amber. Like, you're really asking for a lot from these men that you date for them to actually be your friend?
Do these sound like bare minimum needs? That just tells you who I've been dating.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It's like, of course, you want to have a really good friendship with your partner. That goes without saying, you would think. But there's a lot of people, it's like they're romantic partners, but they're not friends. So it's you go through a crisis, you go to your friends, but you don't go to your romantic partner. And to me, that feels foreign. I'm like, because for me, on my wish list is I want this person to be my best friend. I want them to be my person. This is my safe space. This is the person that I go to with all of my things. Not that I don't still talk to my friends and still have another support system, but I wouldn't go to my friends with anything that I wouldn't feel comfortable going to my partner about. And that's like a must for me, is that's the kind of relationship that we have. They are the kind of person that I would want to go to with all these things, and we have that closeness.
But what about yapping? Where do you fall on the scale? By the way,
like
yapping
yapping?
is just talking a lot. That's why we have a podcast. We have to get our yapping out.
We got to get all of our yapping out. He needs to be able to talk to me, but he doesn't have to be the primary talker. In fact, it's probably better that I am the primary talker. Let's be real. But you need to be able to talk to me because I need banter.
We can't have you and I are incompatible with men who are the primary talkers.
Yeah,
because you're going to be secondary, but I just need somebody to participate because I promise you, Becca, I have dated guys where I can see that you're like seem really into me and like stoked that I did a Make-A-Wish and dated them, but then I start talking and they're like, oh my, I can see them being like, oh my God, now I have to listen to her.
Oh, no. Like
I can feel it.
You need to be
they
the most
don't want
interesting person in the world.
They don't want to hear what I actually have to say. They just want to look at me or something and take my mouth shut. I've gotten that energy from guys that I've dated. I'm going to sit on the couch at night and talk about aliens and are we in a simulation sometimes? And I want you to talk with me about it because these are things that are important to me. And somebody who can't talk or who just tries to get out of every conversation, I need somebody who's like a bit of a conversationalist.
So that's banter. I need to be able to banter with this person. I need to be able to have conversations. Amber, I feel like we have the same wish list.
Yeah, I think it's like pretty close.
But like some of the stuff is just honestly bare minimum things.
Oh, these are bare
I want
minimum
my house
things.
to have walls. I want my house to have doors and windows.
Oh, no.
I want it to have a roof.
You're right.
I want a kind person. That's honestly bare minimum.
Let me think of something that's just like a frivolous Christmas list thing that I want.
6-pack.
We all know what yours is. Okay, Becca. Becca likes abs. I actually...
But within that spectrum, it's more about I want somebody who is active and healthy. That we can be active and healthy together.
We're putting our PC spin on this.
That's what's the more important part about it. Because, like, honestly, like, we're in our 30s. Are we really going to have abs in our 40s? Probably not. I'm going
to have abs in my 40s.
I'm not. I don't have abs right now. I will never have abs. And I'm okay with that.
Abs are, like, weirdly not I don't know if it's weirdly. They've never been on my wish list. Should I be adding abs to my Christmas wish list? For a man?
Abs? I like abs.
I just don't really care. And I've had better abs than I think ever again.
That's probably true. Again, I like nice arms. You gotta at least have nice arms. If you don't, like if you don't have nice arms, you're probably not gonna have abs.
I'm trying to think. Are we gonna get in trouble for this podcast? I'm trying to think what else would be on my wish list. I don't think I have a lot of like physical characteristics. Like I had a height thing for a while, but I think that's like I've opened up my wish list.
Yeah, like
It's not really
when
on
we do
it.
our end of year review, that'll be part of like, where did we grow? And Amber's gonna say, I realize that all men don't have to be 6 feet for me to be able to date them.
6 feet's kind of short, Becca. 6'4".
Oh, I'm sorry, 6'4".
I'm sorry, not short. I'm sorry. It's not short, but it's not tall either. I don't think. Would people consider 6 foot tall?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
What is
So, like,
average?
Average is like 5'8".
No.
Yeah.
For a man?
Yeah.
No. I have
Yes.
never seen a 5'8" man in my life. An average man is 5'8"? Where are these men?
Google it.
Okay, Google it. If you're 5'8", by the way, we probably are soulmates and we haven't met yet. So I'm not dissing on you. I didn't know that was average. I think I'm 5'5". Am I average for a woman in the United States? So I'm average. Okay.
According to the CDC, the average height of men in the United States is about 5'9".
What?
Yes.
I just didn't even see. This is my problem. I literally, something's wrong with my eyes. I don't see these men.
Yeah. You are in Hawaii. So
I
you
don't-
have a lot of tall men around you.
Is that what it is? I don't
think
know
so.
if that's what it is.
Because, like, in Florida, I had a lot of short men around me. And so 6 foot, I'm like, thank goodness. Honestly, though, my minimum height requirement is 5'8".
Oh, I don't know what my
I just
minimum
needed them
is.
to be like a little bit taller than me so that I feel dainty. At 5'8", I don't feel dainty, let's be real. But 6 foot, I feel dainty.
I think on my wish list is definitely that you're taller than me, and ideally taller than me in my highest shoes, which would probably be 2.5 inches, maybe 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to just like men that are not that tall. It's a me issue. Like that's
is.
because it'll trigger my insecurities as a woman.
Do you feel like masculine when you're taller? Because I feel masculine. If we are the same, like if I am taller than my date or the same height, I don't feel feminine enough.
I
feel
guess I
like
don't know
have
that
to
I've ever-
protect him, and I want to be protected. So that is, can you protect me? If I'm yapping at a bar and get in a fight with someone, which is never going to happen, but
Yeah.
can you protect me?
Love to see Becca yapping at a bar again.
Actually,
with
see,
someone.
you've seen how I go after people sometimes.
I don't
when
remember.
they're wrong. It's usually because I'm defending other women.
Oh, I have. You're right. No,
Yeah.
I totally have.
Doing something and he decides that he's going to square up. I need you to step in,
Yeah.
my dear love.
Yeah, I like that too. Definitely somebody who has my back no matter what. Even if I'm wrong, I'm right. Okay, we can talk about it at home, but in public, I am right. 100% of the time.
Yes.
Even if I am so in the wrong, you have my back. Okay,
I'm right.
somebody who protects me.
Yeah.
Or stands up for me. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on this height thing. I didn't realize everyone's walking around being 5'9".
I have shattered Amber's world here.
So it opens up a whole new world. I wonder how tall the aliens are, like what their average height is. Who knows?
It depends on
See,
which
if
alien species they
this is
are. If
something-
it's the reptilians, I think they're like 6 foot-ish. If it's like the little gray men, there's like various gray men height. Are we talking about a Stitch? I think he's like a foot tall.
Is he an alien?
Yeah.
Oh, see, these are the kind of yapping conversations that I need to
All
have.
right, but we got to get back on.
Okay, back to the wish list
back
here.
to the wish. Santa baby, you're bringing us these wonderful men who are the bare minimum, who have green eyes. They're at least 6 feet tall. They're or 6'4" for Amber. Make us laugh and think that we're hilarious and the most interesting women in the world. What else do we want?
On
for
my
these
wish
Christmas
list,
wish list.
I want somebody who doesn't live where I live, which I know is weird because I don't want to be in a long distance thing, but I am like ready to try a different corner of this planet. So somebody who's deeply rooted, potentially like where I'm at right now and not open to going somewhere else is not like what I'm wishing for at this moment. I guess that could change.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like the idea because I'm very entrepreneurial and I set my own schedule and I work for myself, I really like the idea of having that in a partner too. Like rather than somebody who has like a 9 to 5 and only a certain amount of weeks off per year, like that would definitely be on my wish list. Somebody who works for themselves.
Okay.
Somebody with a boat.
Somebody with a
It's
boat.
just a lifestyle that I like.
Yeah.
And I don't have one, and I don't want one because I don't want the maintenance. So
Yeah.
if you like the maintenance of boat keeping, you can be on my wish. You're on my list.
I want a man who's not too emotional. I feel like I have so many emotions that if we both had a lot of emotions, it would be too much.
I can't even imagine a man who's too emotional. Have you encountered these?
Yes.
I've never met one. Like, I would love an emotional.
Like someone who is like stable, steady.
Oh,
versus
yes.
like
Yeah.
emotionally all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I
don't like-
I get the excuse because my hormones are all up and down.
We're
What is your
cyclical.
excuse? Yeah, exactly.
We're cyclical. You're linear, biologically
Yeah.
speaking.
So I
So,
need
yeah,
you
you
to
should be a
literally
little
be
more.
stable, whereas I'm
Mhm.
going to be whatever. For the podcast listeners, we are hand motioning out the wazoo here with all. There's so many gestures.
Circles, lines. Yeah, no, women are. And if you haven't, you can tune into Moons, Moods, and Cycles.
It was our second
which-
episode.
Our second episode of Two Girls on the Market Ever, and learn yourself a little bit about the menstrual cycle.
There's 4 phases.
Yeah.
A man who's willing to talk about the menstrual cycle with me, who doesn't shy
absolutely.
away from women's issues.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be able to talk about that with someone who's going to be respectful and kind and understanding of it all.
Oh, yeah. I like to bring it up right away in casual conversation because if you are in my age bracket and you can't talk about women's menstrual cycles or you giggle or you say an offensive comment about it,
Bye.
you're off the list.
Yeah.
Off Santa's list. Like, do give a little grace for that because I think
There's some unlearning
Probably-
that has to happen.
men our age were like brought up in a way
Yeah.
that we didn't talk about that, or like it was, oh, a woman shouldn't be in charge because nothing bleeds for that long and doesn't die. Those kind of awful
Yeah.
comments that I feel like we grew up just hearing all the time. A woman can't be in charge because of her emotions and menstrual cycle and hormones, and that's why we shouldn't have a female president. Nobody on their period should have access to that much power. Like all those things. And if you go there, no. And I think it's really attractive when men are like super into it too. And they like want to track your cycle too and optimize your life together.
Yeah. It might be wise for them to do that just for their own sanity.
A wise man would track that, I
He
think.
would. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be on like the family calendar.
As far as what I think should be on people's wish list and how they should tier their things out, here's my unsolicited advice.
Oh, we love that on
I
the
get it
podcast.
so
We
much.
love some unsolicited advice.
Is your must-haves should be your core values and your morals and your principles. Those things should be the same. If that stuff is the same, you can, and you're both choosing to choose that other person, you can make a success of anything. If your values and your morals and like those core things that like foundational things are not the same, you will never have success, even if you have all the other things on your wish list. So those are your must-haves. And then as far as all the other bonus items, nice to haves, that just goes off preference.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know what?
it's-
I'm going
It's
to
going
put
to be different for every single person. So it's be as superficial or whatever as you want. I've dated people in the past that I was not physically attracted to because I was like, oh, we have all these other qualities and all these other things in common, and I enjoy them as a person. They're nice. But I realized that attraction is a must-have for me, where we need to have all those core things, but I also need to find this person attractive as more than just a friend. I think that's also like in a must-have, personally.
Yeah. She's
Okay.
got physical chemistry on the wish list. For me, that's like interesting because I don't really like feel like I have a physical type that I'm attracted to, although we have cracked that myth. That's not true, Amber. But I will say that somebody's personality like makes or breaks it for me. I think what would be conventionally attractive to a lot of people becomes really physically unattractive to me fast based on their personality, and same like opposite. What maybe would not be the norm that I say that I'd be like physically attracted to, it totally shifts. based on all of their other non-physical characteristics. So I don't know if I really have like a physical type.
I like you said, it's what's your personality like? How do you make me feel? And there's a range. It's such a spectrum. Physical attraction is such a spectrum for me, for you, for a lot of people.
Okay, well, I think that I've been like mostly good this year. Pretty nice. So hopefully do I leave this letter out for Santa? What is our next experiment to try and find somebody off this list? Am I going to get all of these things out of it? Am I an unrealistic home buyer right now?
I think we put this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube, the TikTok, the Instagram, and see, maybe this will find you, your man,
Okay.
Amber.
Okay, wait, I have a plan.
I'm gonna
So
do
we're
like
gonna
a compilation of all of the things that you said that you want in a man.
wait. We can make it really fast. Like, I'm looking for a man who's kind, confident, likes to cuddle. He's funny, financially sound. Oh gosh, it's too many things. You're gonna have
List
to
them all
compile it.
out.
Emotionally intelligent. Probably doesn't live in Hawaii. I'm just like so open to like a new adventure in life.
I'm gonna do an
So-
entire compilation of all the things
Okay.
that we said, and I'm gonna put that out there.
But
I
like
also
truly
say that I'm
loves
gonna
to
do a
cuddle.
lot of things, and then I never do them. So we'll see about the follow through. But that's my Christmas gift to you, Amber.
Yeah,
is
and
a
then you're gonna
compilation
email. You're gonna email or DM Bekah because I don't want that. She's got to do the screening. I don't want it. Don't come to me.
Yeah.
But she's gonna help with this, and we're gonna see if he's out there. He's probably not on TikTok though. Do I wish for a guy that's sitting around on TikTok right now?
He may not be on TikTok, but his sister might be on TikTok,
Like his little sister.
or older sister. Who knows?
Okay, so if you're a brother or if you're on Instagram, I don't even know if I want him on social media, to be honest. If you're not on social media, that can go on my wish list. Not on social media. Oh, somebody who like when you go on their explore page, you know what you don't see?
Other girls.
Girls. If he's not on Instagram, that's fine. Your sister will find this and contact Bekah for me.
I got you. I'm
Yeah,
Santa,
she's Santa's little helper.
apparently.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've basically covered it. That's all I'm looking for.
It's so simple.
All I want for Christmas. What's the song?
All I
All
want
I
for
want-
Christmas.
Oh, it's All I Want for Christmas is
Mariah
You.
Carey song.
Is you? Is that
All I
oh,
want for Christmas is you.
Okay, that's not very helpful, Mariah Carey. I have a longer list than that. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.